Happy New Year. And yeah, as you can see, old crazy hair, as my friends used to call me in college, decided to shave all that shit off, and you could see why. I was losing it all. What are you going to do about jeans? So, we just ended another season of the War on Christmas. And I'm fascinated to see that the central battleground of the war still continues to be nativity sets and I guess for the rest of the year, Ten Commandments in the schools and on courthouse lawns. And where a lot of the atheist attention has been directed towards the efforts of the Hindu temple and this Satanist Church of Texas or whatever the hell it was that was involved in that one case, wanting to say, well, oh, if you can put the Ten Commandments up, then we have the right to put our shit up. Now, I think we would be in error as atheists if we didn't mention the caveat. I would prefer that none of these things were on the courthouse, and the courthouse remained secular as it's fucking supposed to be under constitutional law. But what I find fascinating is that commandment of thou shalt keep no graven idols. And if you read the long version of that, it's pretty much don't make any graven religious idols, although some have interpreted it the commandment to mean don't make art at all. Both of those are silly and pointless. But the fascinating thing is that the American religious culture is sort of going back to the old Catholic old days of having idols, ironically. They're worried so much about keeping this stone tablet of laws that don't mean a damn thing to our country in our courthouses, and having statues of these same things in front of Congress and all these other things, and they have to be in schools, and how viciously Christians will make sure to fight for these graven idols. Does nobody else find this kind of hilarious and ironic? That it's so easy to say, well, what are you trying to do? I mean, are you trying to pretend to stand up for God? See, I've always been fascinated. This is a group of people who believe that God controls all things, that God is the commander of fate, and that there isn't such thing as free choice, except for the ones that do say that there's such thing as free choice, and that's how they explain sin. And then they have to throw Satan in there so they could still have a religious excuse for bad behavior. But for every one of them who I guess is internally consistent and focuses on proselytizing, just outright ministry, and does that with charity and so forth to the point where we can be less angry at them, we also have the problem of these people who think that God needs their help defending a rock that they have sinfully carved into an example of his power. It's hilarious. Anyway, I hope that the next time you find yourself talking with somebody about the whole religious statues in court and state buildings and in schools, which are state buildings, that you remember to bring up that not only is it unconstitutional and unlawful and illegal, and not only is it strangely beside the point of either humanism and atheism or the actions of the church, which should be, proselytizing / not proselytizing for the latter. But you should also mention the fact that these are sins that they're woefully defending because they're graven representations of their God. They're defending the Ten Commandments because they're treating that statue like their God, which is a mortal sin, but whatever. Have a nice year.